Spoiler warning! This episode will contain slight spoilers about the heralds in the Cosmere universe. Be warned. Welcome to the World Building Wardrobe, a world building podcast where we discuss different aspects of world building every week, which is the goal, but now it's been a month since the last episode, so we're a bit behind on schedule, but that's fine for now. Today I am once again joined by my co-host. Say your name, guys.
Hello, it's me, Delta.
Cole.
Wow, so much spirit in that call.
Cole's got a little bit of that enthusiasm issue. It's okay. We're building them up. We're building them up.
We're building them. And today we're also joined by Gianni.
Hey, special guest. Hopefully, recurring guest. We'll see.
We just voted for you to be host, so.
You're here, man.
From now on, you do all the editing, you all the preparations.
100%, 100%. You know how it is?
It's too much work.
Networking. You're out there in the taxis in New York being all like, you know what? Here's my podcast, everything like that. Hello, yes, this is my podcast. You know, you're hustling it.
I'll be on the streets hustling like. I'll hustle them like mixtapes. Like, hey, you want some of this podcast? I'll give it to you for free, man.
Okay. Since this is more of a an 18 plus podcast, I've got a question for you.
Alright, let's hear it.
Okay, so I was thinking about this the other day. If you're just you get home from a long day of work and your roommate or something is in his room, her room, whatever, and they're watching like a Game of Thrones thing, and like the sex scene starts up. How long does the sex scene go on for until you start thinking maybe it's not a TV show, maybe it's porn? How long does it go on for?
Well, Game of Thrones was definitely a lot of sex in the first few seasons. And I watched it with my mother, and she couldn't do it anymore. Just way too much sex, and then Sansa gets. I can do spoilers, I guess, since it's been like 2 years.
100%.
Then Sansa getting raped, and oh god, it's just way over the line. But if we want to talk about Westeros for world building, that's a good example. If we can do world building,
we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
We're
but
gonna
the
go
question
in
is,
deep.
how long, in a time frame sense, how long do you just be like, maybe he's listening to some really loud fucking porn? Is it like 5 minutes, 10 minutes? What do you think?
Just join in, pull your pants down, and start rubbing one out.
Yeah, there you go.
Where do you live that this problem happens to you? This is so specific.
No, this is like, I'm sitting at work, the work has broken down, we're sitting there cleaning, and it's like 3 a.m. in the morning. I get these weird thoughts in my head, and then I just save them for the podcast.
I see. I like your thinking. I like your brain. It's a good brain.
It's a good brain, trust me. I live with it daily.
To answer your question, I would say about 10 seconds.
10 seconds? Yeah, okay.
That's all it takes for me to get ready, so.
So what's today's episode?
So
arc
today's
about,
focus. So last episode, I was going to say last week, but it's been a month. So the previous episode we talked about the creation of the world and what kind of worlds we have. So today would be a good segue just to go into the gods and goddesses of our worlds.
Oh yes.
And I just put down as the first question, just really simple. What makes someone a god?
The ability to create and manipulate the space and time around them, I'm supposing. I could always just pull up the Wikipedia.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that this time.
But yeah. What type of gods exist, ladies and gents?
Well, when I was going over the outline for this, when you're talking about gods and religion, that's one of the most complex topics you can do when you're world building.
True.
Because there's two different types of things between gods and religions. Religions are things that the people interpret in different ways. Maybe a god has come down, like Eru sent and the Valar sent to the Maiar Gandalf down there, and the elves basically knew he was doing that, so they knew the religion and they could see the religion for themselves. But other times, people are just trying to interpret what they see around them, and they can turn that into a religion, and the God may not be real, like some people do here on Earth. So there's a difference between having your gods and having your religion. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You know
Mhm.
what I'm
I get you. I
saying?
get you.
Yeah. Another example would be from Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire. There's the Red God R'hllor. And the Red Priests try to build this religion of what it is, and there's obviously magical powers behind it, but
Mhm.
they really misinterpret it sometimes. You know, Melisandre's wrong about things, so there could be aspects of what God is, but just misinterpreted, but still kind of have the essences of what it is.
Almost sounds like real life, if you know what I'm saying.
That's basically what I'm saying. It could be real life, but with actual goddesses and gods, there's multiple different. There's so many different possibilities that you can be going with this. It's really difficult subject to pin down.
But we already know what the one true God is. It's the flying spaghetti monster. I know this is an 8-year-old joke, a 9-year-old joke now, but you know,
The
wait,
Pastafarism, isn't it? Pastafarism?
no, pastafarianism. Yes, it's
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful. I love reading about that. Cole, do you know what that is?
No.
Oh man, listen, we'll get into that another time, but you're missing out, my friend. Like
Yeah.
the forms gods can take. There's a lot of forms. There's things like avatars, voices in people's heads. Sometimes you listen to those. Sometimes they tell you to kill your whole family. That happens. And sometimes they interact with people like a bush on fire. But we're not going to talk about that because that could also be something can you see.
The
You know
Prince
what
of
I'm saying?
Egypt, baby,
A very, very
whatever.
good
I
movie.
love that
Very good
anime.
movie. That's an anime?
Here we go
No.
again.
Oh God.
The weeps have arrived.
We need to get a weeb prison for Cole. Just like go to weeb
No!
prison. Go to
No!
weeb prison.
I might be a weeb now. I was watching Death Note before this started. That's
Oh
pretty great world
God.
building.
Death Note's sort of it's been so talked about Western civilization, and it has its own Netflix adaptation. So nowadays, it's not really an anime anymore.
By the way, do not watch that Netflix adaptation.
Yeah, it's
That is a
It's
it's
terrible
so
movie.
bad.
absolute
It's so bad.
dog shit. You have
Uh,
no idea. That's where the Netflix adaptation meme came from.
Anyways, back to world building. I think if you're going to make a religion, the first thing you need to found is how the world was created. Have your pantheon, your gods, goddesses, maybe one god, maybe no gods. You create that, you set that in your world, well, along with maybe if you have a magic system or not, and then you put the people in places and say, how would they interpret this if this happens, and how would they form their own religion based off what they see?
I want to go into that because actually interesting. You haven't read Wheel of Time, so I hope this point comes across. So you talked about Song of Ice and Fire and Lord of the Rings, where there are gods and people have religions about these gods. But the interesting thing about Wheel of Time is that you have the Creator and the Dark One, and those are basically gods, but they are not seen as gods. There is actually no religion on the Wheel of Time world. That's what makes it interesting. They know there is a
It
god, the creator, but they have no religion. There are no churches, no temples. There is nothing that they do to worship the creator or the Dark One, and that makes it very interesting because you have these gods, but you have no religion. It's really weird.
I found that very interesting, and how they perceived it and everything like that. How they talked about it in certain different parts of the world, from different places, from like Malkier and Tanchico. You know what I'm saying? It's very interesting, and I was always trying to get a feel of who the creator was because of that one chapter. I believe it's in the Great Hunt. I believe it's called. Sorry, it's been a minute since I watched since I read the books, but where Lanfear is trying to tempt Rand into getting all powerful to take on the Creator itself, and stuff like that. And yeah, but
Think of
I
the
found that.
glory.
Think of the glory. But yeah, no, I thought it was very interesting how they just there weren't no religions, which again also very cool because Robert Jordan goes into a lot of detail when it goes to world building. So
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
glad he kind of left that out because we could have stuck with 20 more chapters of Rand talking to the creator. So,
Yeah, definitely.
yes, yes.
Well,
Anyway,
I also find
Gian.
it difficult when I'm writing or building something. How how do the gods influence this world? Like they have so many cultural influences that can come from these gods for so little, so such little things. You sometimes
Mhm,
think like in the even in the Cosmere, in the Song of Ice and Fire as well, there's some really minor world building details that
mhm.
find their origin in religion, and that sometimes it makes me so how do you say that? I'm so amazed sometimes by the authors that they
Mhm.
can develop something as broad as a religion to very, very little details that they sometimes put in.
It is really crazy, isn't it? I don't know. I enjoy world building and everything like that, but I usually don't touch things like gods and goddesses because adding a whole extra system of religion and stuff like that to my worlds really takes a lot of time and just energy that it it's a headspace I'm not familiar with. I'm definitely trying to get into it as I world build because it's a very important part and everything like that. But usually I find that gods and goddesses are one of the more complicated topics to tackle when it comes to world building.
Yeah.
I like how George Martin does it in A Song of Ice and Fire, where he doesn't say what gods are there. He says from the perspective of people witnessing this type of magic going around, and they
Hmm.
build their own religions off that, which is in contrast to Tolkien, who basically tells you everything,
Hmm.
where the what the gods are and everything like that. I prefer George Martin's perspective, where you see it through the other people's eyes. You don't know. He doesn't specifically say this is a god, this is a god. He says this is what the people believe are gods.
Hmm. Hmm.
Which is also interesting in the Cosmere, because there sometimes you have viewpoint chapters from the point of view of the gods. So the shards, how they're called in that world, and you see people talking and interacting with the gods. You see their views on how they see the gods and how the gods influence the world and how they are restricted. It's a really interesting mesh of things.
It is really interesting. Hang on. Where would be another example of gods and goddesses, I suppose?
Well, our world, the Genesis book, was created by people to, if I remember this correctly from my high school lessons, they
Hmm.
created the Genesis book, the Old Testament and everything like that. They
Okay.
created that in purpose to inspire people to rise up against their masters or something, or against the slavers. It was something to do with a people that was being, what's the English word for that? Being oppressed, and
Yeah.
they
Huh.
they created the Old Testament and Genesis to inspire and to make them believe in something, so that they could rise up and evolve. I don't know how you say that in English.
So are you talking
Rise
about
up.
the Israelites escaping Egypt slavery?
Yes.
That might be it, yeah.
Maybe.
But my memory is a bit fuzzy because it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think
Which.
Genesis was just like a collection of stories that was finally put together. I'm not really sure who put it together. And then there's Exodus. The next book is how the Israelites get out of slavery in Egypt. But if you go back and read Genesis, some of those stories overlap with old stories from ancient Babylon and stuff like that, like the Great Flood. So it's pretty cool what people interpret their religion. They could be from the same culture the religion starts, but when the people spread out, and then the story differs a little bit, but it still has that same kernel in it.
Hmm. Hmm. Absolutely. I find it very interesting how the Bible, you just got this one book, but every single story has some kind of root in a different kind of society. Like you said, there's the bits from Babylon. There's a bit, I believe I was reading something, and I noticed that it had I can't remember. It was Calypso's island, I guess, from Greek mythology, and it had some themes from the Garden of Eden itself. I don't know. Maybe it might be me uh, getting the wrong comparison here or something like that, but it definitely felt like there was some of that in there as well, and I found that very, very interesting that those um, those cultures that would have some interaction at the time kind of overlap into this one huge thing that is Christianity.
I think since we're talking about our own world building theories, that's why people
Hmm.
are tuning in. We all built worlds here. I know Ruin has his worlds. Do you guys have you guys world built a religion before?
Not specifically. I don't really do religion that much. I more focus on battles and society and stuff like that. It's just never really occurred to me.
Ruin, why don't you talk about one of the religions you've created, or if you have, and how it developed and what's it like?
Oh, I can talk about one, but the thing is, I want to explain it, but it's super spoilers for the book I'm writing. But I can explain the basic concept because the people who listen to
Hmm.
this podcast is gonna be like 10 people or something, so it's fine.
Okay, okay.
So I was first inspired by Brandon Sanderson with the shards, but then I developed it into
Hmm.
my own thing. And actually, I have my world, and the world is in a perfect symbiosis with some kind of a cosmic force, and that cosmic force envelops the world with something I call the Shah, where the magic comes from.
Uh-huh.
And the people who use this magic have begun to see
You stole
Shah
that from Warcraft.
from what?
Warcraft, the Shah, that's like an evil magic in Warcraft.
I have never
Is
heard of
it?
that.
I haven't really played much
I have to
Warcraft. I
look that
used to
up.
play it a little in high school, but never heard of it.
Well, so basically, there are a lot of connection points in the world where this magic flows up and then spreads across the land. And around these connection points, people have built cities and societies and started to worship this thing that they named, yeah, the Shah. Apparently, that's a stolen name, but whatever. And everywhere around the world, where people did different things with this source of magic, they have created different religions and different views on what the magic does and means to the people. And there's one people I call for now the Kari, who are like living on. I don't know. Do you remember my world map that I made, the big one?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the island group in the middle, that's where
Hmm.
they live. Each tribe has an island that they live on, and each one of those islands has one of those connection points, and they have their whole history. And over the course of the hundreds of years that they've been separate from each other, they also started having different views on the Shah while still having the Shah as a connection point between all the tribes. And that's where I'm starting my plot line at, is that people are misinterpreting something from the Shah, and that leads to conflict and stuff like that. So I'm
Ah,
still building on it, but that's the core concept of it.
very interesting, very interesting. I
Yeah,
really like it.
that's sort of like mine, where the religion kicks off the story that I got. I'll do one of my religions really quick. I'm the complete opposite of Ruin with one of the worlds that I've done, where there's actually no magic, and it's not a book; it's a screenplay or show that I've been writing,
Hmm.
Is that
and
the
I'll
world?
also
Is that
give
the
away
from the world
spoilers.
I've drawn?
It's from Terra 2, the Terra 2.
The one I've put on paper.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one you drawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I edited the map. I'm almost done with the map, and I've been working on the screenplay. But regardless, so there's no gods. It's more of a science fiction, but you don't know that at the time. So I'm spoiling my own show now.
God damn it.
You think there's gods, and you think it's this medieval world. A spoiler is it's actually takes place on a moon of a planet far away, and it's in the distant future. So one
That
of
is
the
great.
religions that kicks off the story is a fairly new religion. A race of people worship the god of many colors. What it actually is that they are on a side of the moon that can see the planet that it orbits around. Because when you're on the
Hmm.
moon, you can't see the planet. So from their perspective, the planet covers up the sun. So they think that's God, and he tries to destroy the sun every night.
Uh-huh.
So that's the basis of their religion. So they think that they want to worship the god, and the god wants to turn off the sun. So in their religion, they want to turn off all the lights in the world and bring that endless darkness, which is like their final goal. So this is a new religion towards them, and this race of people lives closer to the sun, so they have dark skin, and they interpret this as we have dark skin, we're the ones to bring in the endless darkness. So that kicks off the story. They start raiding different cities and putting out the lights, and there's this whole ordeal that people want to stop them. So the antagonists see something in their world, form a religion around it, and because
Mm.
of this religion, kicks off the story, and they start the conflict.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a cool
Very,
concept.
very nice reason for action, you know? Um, freaking, I don't know. I enjoy creation mythos every once in a while. I really enjoy the Greek version of rising up against the Titans to take over the world and everything like that. And previously, the Titans rose up against their parents to take over the world, and it's all very interesting. Do you guys have any favorite creation mythos out there?
The Greek, definitely.
Definitely. Ah,
Such a
yes.
classic.
I would have to agree with the Greek. Maybe Egyptian is cool.
Egyptian is pretty cool. There's
That's just
also
a bunch of
the
furries.
it's a bunch of furries.
I mean, I guess
Uh,
it kind of is.
leave it to Cole to find the furry stuff in Egyptian mythology.
Cat people,
Oh God.
cat people.
I mean, I guess it is a bunch of furries. It's humans with animal heads. So the ancient
True, true.
Egyptians were furries.
What is this thing? Meow. It's a god. Basically.
Oh God, it's the scene from frickin' the Mummy bursts into the room and he sees the Mummy trying sucking out the soul of one of the guys or something, and he's like, "Hey!" and he looks over and he holds up a cat and the guy's like, "Ah!"
Classic.
Ah, boy. But anyway, yeah. Uh, how about depictions and art? Anyone got any interesting ones there? How about like how I mean, to bring back up the Greco-Roman pantheon again, they've got some pretty interesting art about them.
It's with their like, look at this guy. He's peak performance.
Absolutely, 100%.
Chiseled bods but small
Have you
dicks.
seen a statue of Hermes or Mars or something like that? Oh, it's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Small
definitely.
dicks though, small dicks, 100%.
I'm a grower, not a shower. God damn it.
Oh God. Listen, you don't need to be a grower or a shower when you're a god that could destroy things with a snap of a finger.
Well, then you have Zeus who likes to get it on with a cow every now and then. That's
Hundred
kind of
percent, hundred
strange.
percent. Half of Greece is literally just Zeus blood because of
Oh,
this.
he dropped there.
Don't worry about it. I'm recording.
Fine.
Hmm.
Actually, one interesting thing I want to talk about the depiction of in art is I'm gonna go into the Cosmere again because I love the Cosmere so much.
Hmm.
So in the Cosmere in the Stormlight Archive, I'm gonna keep it as spoiler free as possible if it's fine with you guys.
That's okay. If you have to spoiler it, if you have to spoil
It's
it,
really
that's
minor,
okay
and you
as
see it
well.
in the first chapter of the book. So.
Oh, okay, then I would have read it
All right.
definitely.
So in the Stormlight Archive, you have the 10 heralds, who
Uh
are
huh.
basically 10 humans who have made a pact that they live for thousands of years to stop the apocalypse, to sum it up basically.
By
One
the
of
time
those
we're joining them,
one of those
by
heralds, I think it's Shalas, who was the herald of art and artistic values. And now, so many thousand years later, so it's just not. She has been gone for 4,000 years, and you find her again in the world, destroying every art made of her, every piece of thing that shows her as she was. She's just trying to destroy it everywhere in the world, which I
oh
think
really?
is a really cool concept. That you, it's also the same with the other heralds, that they become insane and they become the complete opposite of what they represent.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I like that idea. I like that idea.
Yeah, I wanted to
Uh,
jump into your guys' world that you started on earlier and throw some
oh,
religion into that.
you
So,
if you're looking to have like a serious topic about a world building, this world is not it. This is probably the silliest, most cringy world that I'm ever going to think of. And when I think back on this podcast years later, I'm probably going to be like, yeah, we made some weird decisions with that world.
the world was created by a big burp.
Yes, it was
Uh,
Cole.
The
Cole
Big
just
Burp.
belched one day,
The
the
big,
and
the big
basic,
belch, the big belch. It's perfect.
yes, the big burp, the big belch. It's perfect.
and then there's the basic bitch goddess of pumpkin spice.
Yep,
Yep.
yep. Minor goddess on the
We can
pantheon,
blame
but
Cole. We can
still
blame Cole for
important.
that.
Yep, yep.
So, I mean, if we are real world builders here, we'll be able to take this and turn it into a religion, which we're working on today. So, if you guys got
Definitely.
any ideas on how somebody would worship this, go ahead, shoot it right now.
I have the perfect idea. People
Okay,
get
okay.
visions when they drink a latte.
Yes, they get visions that dictate things around them. It's how many of the greatest wars on the world have sparked true. One time they said that one of the ancient kings of one of the kingdoms of the planet. Let's see here. I don't know. Cash money. Let's just go with that.
Wait,
Sure.
cash money?
We'll,
King
we'll,
Yeah,
we'll,
Cash money?
the ancient
we'll edit
the
that in
ancient
post.
kingdom of cash money, and we're gonna edit it in post because I'm just using a temp title here. But they said that a traveling merchant once showed up at the palace saying, "Great lord, I gave you a gift," and it's a pumpkin that was spiced, and he thought, that's very interesting, and so he took a slice from this pumpkin spice. And when he ate it, he received a vision that told him to go forth and conquer the world, becoming the first successful empire that world had ever seen.
I have a name for the
Wow.
empire. The Empire of Canteven. Can't even.
Can't even. I fucking love it. Can't even.
So the big burp, is there just the basic bitch goddess of pumpkin spice, or we're having a pantheon here of like different flavored lattes?
We'll create a
Oh
pantheon for sure.
God, here we go.
I like what you're thinking.
God.
They're all goddesses though, and they're all lesbian for each other.
God damn it.
Huh. Well,
That's
that's a
that's
that's a
pretty
place I didn't see it
that's
going,
pretty
but
hot. I
sure.
support it.
Oh God.
2021 people. We're all lesbians
Hundred
now.
percent. 100%. Oh
So
man.
the big burp was maybe their mother
Uh huh.
had a big burp, and it created all of them and the universe,
Uh huh.
and they all are goddesses of a different latte flavor. There's the vanilla, the goddess of vanilla, the pumpkin spice. The
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't really drink lattes very often.
Yeah,
Help
me
me out
neither.
here.
Neither do I. Cole, this is on you, buddy. You got any lattes for us?
Dude, I got ADHD. I can't touch anything with caffeine in it, really. Or
This
else
is
I
this is
like
gonna
my eyes
require
roll in
some
the back
Google
of my
work.
head, and I'm like
Oh
Hail
God.
Sauron.
Hang on. Let's throw it up to Google.
Different
Google. What the
flavors
hell?
of latte.
Okay. Uh,
I'm gonna search it in an incognito window because
you don't want it to just come up on your thing. Your girlfriend's like looking at your
like, what
at
the
Google
fuck
one
you
day.
doing?
Honey, why are you looking at different flavors of latte?
I can't even right now. I can't even.
Ooh,
Right, we
the
have
Irish cream goddess.
vanilla,
So
caramel. Oh, we have mocha,
oh,
hazelnut,
Mocha,
coconut,
mocha. Yes, that's good.
lavender. Right,
and these are all the different types of magic. There's lavender magic, pumpkin spice magic,
perfect.
Irish cream magic.
Irish cream magic,
That just sounds like a euphemism for sex or something.
Now we also have
Irish cream
a
magic,
Scottish cream magic.
Scottish cream. I
Scottish
actually
cream.
I actually had a Scottish person in chat earlier, so I'm glad they're gone now.
You just made an enemy for life.
My family are proud Scots. We have like a Scottish bumper plate on the front of the car, so I always know who's. I'm like, oh, there's my dad.
Is it
Ah,
William
yes.
Wallace? Do you have a picture of William Wallace in your house somewhere?
Uh-huh.
Does he
Uh-huh.
fart lighting from his ass?
So there was the mother who had the big burp, and she was so embarrassed about the big burp and there's stuff everywhere that she was gonna get rid of it. but her daughters, the basic bitch goddesses of lattes, said,
Uh-huh.
"No, mother, let's keep the world and we'll watch over it." And that's how we got where we're at so far.
That's what we got.
Creation myth. I love it. I love it. We'll get into some legends about how they did it, including one mishap between the hazelnut goddess and the toffee goddess. We won't talk about that. It had something to do with a train, may have caused a couple wars. We're not, you know.
She had an allergy. Oh, the different magic system can be allergic to each other.
Oh my God, true,
Yeah, and it
true.
could be like weakness versus power level, kind of like Pokemon magic systems, like water versus grass.
100%, 100%. Some are weaker to others. Some are stronger than others. You know.
This
Did we
is
do the magic system episode yet? Was that last week
no,
or
not
last
yet.
time? Did I
No,
miss
we
that?
haven't done the magic system episode.
This
That'll
is
be a
only the
couple
second
episodes
episode,
down the line.
so
Oh,
Oh
don't
man,
worry,
that's
we got.
perfect. So we've created the world and how everything is. We haven't done the geography yet or
no,
anything like that.
that's gonna be on
But
me, the geography.
you're perfect for writing the maps and everything. But we got our creation story, and it's going to be easy to build a magic system off. Now we have our gods and goddesses. We really haven't formed out the religions yet, but we have the gods goddesses. Did we want to form out which religions they kind of do there?
Well, the thing is, I found a site here that has the different flavors and some explanation underneath the flavors. So I think from those explanations we can derive some aspects to use in the religion. Like for
That's
instance,
Absolutely.
great.
Vanilla says very few
Absolutely.
people can deny wanting a little hint of sweetness in a drink without committing to a full sugar overload. We can totally use this.
So, so vanilla is the vanilla religion, you know?
It's the OG.
It's
So
the
do
OG.
these
What's like the dark magic side necromancy equivalent?
Hazelnut because everybody's
Uh,
allergic to nuts.
Or would it be like pike or
100%.
whatever it's called?
what about chocolate?
Oh yeah. No, that's good too.
Oh, I got a
And
perfect one. The mocha. This one is a little different.
Mocha,
Mocha is
yes.
not going to be a bottled syrup, but a sauce.
Oh God.
So did
And
these
then
goddesses go down to maybe these different civilizations and introduce themselves and show them the magic system and they form their religion out of that? Or is there just different types of magic coming out of these different worlds and these people have found out how to use these magic systems and come up with their own religion, seeing the magic?
Well, the thing
I
is, do we
like
use
that
one
second
planet or
option.
one planet per goddess?
I think maybe we should do stick to one planet because we do multiple planets.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay. Yeah.
it could get very confusing. I think we should just have the goddesses come down to check out Mother's burp, and they see that there's actually life, so they all come down at different points, and they're mad at each other because they all think they're the superior flavor of latte. So they all form their own religions with different civilizations around our one world.
This is getting somewhere.
I love it. I love it.
Definitely.
See, I told you we could turn this into something. We're world builders here. This is the world building podcast.
We're gonna make money off of this. This is it. This is it, guys.
I remember
Irish
like
creams, they
listening
just
to
kind of get drunk.
I remember listening to a Worldbuilders podcast a few years ago, and they in like 200 episodes they created a 5,000 year timeline. It's like, is this how it begins?
Wow. This is just how it begins, you know.
This is how it
We're gonna
starts.
be.
Ruin, you're gonna have to write the book, okay?
Yeah. I'm
After,
no joke. I am writing 6 books right now.
are you like 6 different
Holy
books?
crap.
We'll
Whenever
make it a picture book and I'll draw the pictures.
There you go. We got it. Cole will draw the pictures. You write the book. I'll adapt it into a movie when the book's over. I can do the screenplay. Delta, you need to do something here.
Oh boy, what am I gonna be doing?
I have one
I
request.
network.
I have one
Oh.
request. If you do
Okay,
the
okay.
if you do the screenplay, it has to be in the style of Mean Girls.
Oh my God, beautiful. I can network, I'm in multiple servers. I'm like, I know guys from like the dank memes. I know some of the guys from Newgrounds, everything like that. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Newgrounds.
There you go.
Holy shit! How long
Let's
has
let's
that been?
let's n- let's not get ahead of ourselves now. Let's keep working on the world, wardrobe's world. Uh,
Yes, yes.
for the listeners at home, you're listening to the building of Wardrobe's world, and it's
Oh
pretty
my God,
exciting stuff.
it's beautiful.
This ain't
It's
no
beautiful,
Narnia
you know?
wardrobe. This is the real shit.
It's not going to be one book that's actually really good, and the rest of the books are just exposition, you
It's just
know?
gonna be one book.
Are we still calling it Wardrobe's World now that we have a different magic system and a different religion, or should we change it?
We
I
can
like
call it the Big
Wardrobe's World.
Belches, the magic systems.
Oh, the Big Belch? Hell yeah.
I think that sounds better than the Big Burp, the Big Belch.
Perfect.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Yeah.
But anyway, should we move on? Get to the Reddit showcase or nah?
I think we covered everything that was written down.
Yeah, if you guys wanted to do your spotlight from the world building subreddit, go ahead. I've got nothing for this topic, but you guys can go ahead if you got something
I have
something to say.
such a good one. Let
It's
me.
let's see here. We got the first half of my monster book. Let's
Yeah.
see what we got here.
It's insane how well detailed this is. It's like a monster encyclopedia for different types of myriads. It's just so detailed. The drawings. It's
Oh
insane.
man, these are really good. Mine is not as nearly as impressive, but I will throw it up.
Once again, I'll
It's-
admit I haven't read everything, so. It was just
It
a
was
cool
just-
picture.
It's all good. I got this one. It's different birds from certain areas
Yeah,
of
I saw
a
that one today.
continent.
Oh, I was gonna use that.
Well, guess what? I used it first.
You had
so
one
fight me.
month.
You had 1 month.
But I like bird.
Mm,
But
you got- you got-
don't worry, I have a different one too.
the
Are you gonna
horn-
throw these images on the YouTube video?
I'm not sure about
Oh, I
with
should-
copyright and everything. Just put them in the description, the links to the post.
Hang on, let me get that link then.
Those are some nice looking birds.
Well, I
They
mean,
kind of look. They look kind of exactly like real world birds with just the little tips on their
There we go.
head.
paradise birds.
Paradise birds. I love them. I love birds, man. I want a bird one day. We're gonna get a bird. I'm gonna name it Tofu.
Nice.
Bird is the
That
word.
thing's gonna outlive you. You know that.
That was a terrible joke, Ruin. Go to old meme jail.
Hey, Peter.
Oh god, I remember when that came out. I thought it was the funniest shit ever. Nowadays I'm like, it's not even funny.
It is. Shut up.
It's not funny. It's just a beater. A beater. Sorry, that might peak the audio, so I'm sorry for your fucking ears later on.
Hey, Peter.
A beater.
Alright, we went on a pretty long tangent here, but that's gonna be it for episode 2 of the World Building Wardrobe. We of course hope you enjoyed the episode, and we hope to see you on the next one as well. We are still uploading on Pinecast and YouTube, but that may change in the future as we make more episodes, so keep an eye on that. My name is Ruin.
My name is Delta.
Cool.
And Gianni.
Fucking Cole, a bit more enthusiasm.
A bit more
Cole's
enthusiasm, boy.
never
Come on, we're
excused.
trying to make some money here. I'm peaking the audio. I'm watching the audio just spike, getting mad at Cole.
Alright, thanks for listening guys, and see you in the next episode.
See ya. Bye.